Coming to Kickstarter this June, John Haynes at Death's Door, the man who rules the world, takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed all-new John Haynes comic book. Get your copy of the standard and variant editions of John Haynes at Death's Door and lots of other great stretch goal rewards on Kickstarter this June. I just got a look at the trailer for Black Adam, and I'm not really impressed by this trailer because I don't really believe it captures the spirit of the character that came from DC Comics. Now, your Black Adam is one of the most powerful villains in the DC universe. He was the first human to be given the powers by the wizard Shazam, and he went rogue with that power. And as a result of him going rogue with that power, your Black Adam was imprisoned by the wizard Shazam, I believe, and he didn't escape until a couple of years ago. And then what happened was he had major confrontations with Shazam, also known as Captain Marvel, and members of the Marvel family. Now, in recent years, your Jeff Johns has decided to take this major archenemy of the Shazam family, and he has decided to make him into an anti-hero. And it's Jeff Johns' version of Black Adam that is the basis for this adaptation of a film. And unfortunately, this adaptation of Black Adam really doesn't have any sort of heart or soul due to its poor execution. Now, your Black Adam doesn't feel like it's its own movie like its counterpart, Shazam, which came out a few years ago. Now, your Shazam feels like it's its own movie with its own message, its own heart and soul, and it is very true to the source material of the old Fawcett comics, and it's also true to Jeff Johns' reimagination, which came out as part of the New 52. Unfortunately, your Black Adam doesn't really feel like a Fawcett comic or a DC comic. No, it just feels like it's cut and pasted from several MCU films and made into what we're supposed to believe is its own movie. Now, when you take a look at many of the frames in the trailer for Black Adam, you notice that many of these sequences look like they were ripped straight out of other movies. Now, there's this high-tech ship that's your Black Adam, I think, is flying in, and this ship really reminds me a lot of the Wakandan ships that were in Black Panther. And then we cut to a sequence of your Adam being revived by Dr. Fate, I believe, and we see more sequences that take us from the MCU to the whole Fox version of the Wolverine, and the sequences where Wolverine is getting injected with the adamantium. And we also, with your Dr. Fate, start to hear him talking about how Black Adam needs to stop being an anti-hero, and that really takes us back to the MCU with Doctor Strange and how your Black Adam could possibly go out here and either save the world and destroy it. Again, cutting and pasting from Avengers Infinity War, where your Doctor Strange is looking at all of the possibilities and probabilities and seeing how he could go out here and beat Thanos. So this film doesn't really have its own voice. It doesn't have its own personality. It's not really telling us the story of Teth Adam. No, it's just basically a cash grab film meant to get as much money out of superhero movie fans and comic fans as possible. So, like Thor: Love and Thunder, this Black Adam movie feels like it's not really there for any real reason, and it doesn't really, as I see it, answer the critical question every filmmaker needs to answer, and that is, why should we care? Yes, this film has some very interesting visuals as related to their version of Qorak, which is which country that your Black Adam is the guardian of, and we get some really nice visuals of the Hawkman costume, which Aldous Hodge is wearing. That looks beautiful as a costume, and we got a great looking Atom Smasher who looks like great CGI, and there might possibly be a Cyclone, and we get a great looking Dr. Fate. And yes, the costumes look very good as related to being true to the source material, but the problem is that there isn't much substance to the source material as related to this story. And what's really sad here about Black Adam is that you've got a really good quality cast. I mean, you've got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is very good at doing action movies. I mean, I've seen his work in some of the F9, not F9, but I think he was in F8 or F6, and I saw that movie. He was absolutely fantastic there. He did a great job on movies like Hobbs and Shaw and many others. So I know that Dwayne Johnson can really play a good character, but the problem is they didn't really give him much of a script with much substance to work with here. And you have Pierce Brosnan, I believe, who's giving one of the best performances of his career, doing the best he can with this weak material. I mean, his Dr. Fate is absolutely fantastic, but the problem is that the writing here isn't very strong, because they're not really writing a story about Black Adam. No, this entire movie basically feels like one big cash grab for your Discovery Time Warner to make a fast dollar on comic fans who want to get their latest superhero fix, and they're not really concerned about the quality of the material. I mean, yes, on the surface, yes, it's visually gets your attention with these great designs, but I don't really see a strong story in this trailer, and I really don't really see really good quality action. I just see, again, more cut and pasted sequences, like the scene where your Black Adam is with the lightning, the scene where your Black Adam is flying with the planes. These are all cut and pasted from MCU movies, and there's nothing original or distinct about this movie to really make you look at this movie and say, wow, this Black Adam character is special. Wow, this Black Adam character is unique. I mean, what's the difference between Black Adam and Superman, except that he's basically an anti-hero? I mean, there's nothing really special here, like it was with Shazam. I mean, Shazam was a nice, friendly movie about a family coming together and sharing to overcome the villain, and them using their powers to help people in the community. And it was about, again, all about family, so there was something special about Shazam. And then there was your Patty Jenkins Wonder Woman, which was basically a great story about a woman learning that there was more to life than war, and looking to help those in need. So both of those movies were very unique and distinct. And then there's Aquaman, which was a very fantastic and fun adventure in the style of Indiana Jones. When you look at each of those movies, all of them have their own distinct message, all of them have their own distinct voice, and you don't really feel that with Black Adam. Black Adam just feels like a movie made by committee, and it feels like a movie just made to make money for the studio, made to sell merchandise from McFarlane Toys, and just made for the sake of being made. And if you're getting to the point where you're just making projects for the sake of making projects, then what's special about those projects? Now, one of the three questions I was taught as a screenwriter is, why should we care? And when I look at this movie, I just don't see a reason to care about this movie, because this movie is just basically a cut and paste of other better superhero movies. And if I want to go see a really good superhero movie, I'll go watch 2008's Iron Man, or I'll go watch the Wolverine, or I'll watch Logan, or I'll watch Black Panther, or any of the other movies that this movie cut and pasted many of its scenes from and basically stole its scenes from. Now, this is a big problem I'm seeing again with a lot of these superhero movies, is that they're starting to lose their originality, and they're basically coming off like something off an assembly line. I mean, this is something that's not just as related to Black Adam, but it's also with MCU movies and even some independent superhero movies. I'm not really seeing anything unique or distinct about these movies. These movies basically feel like they are like Chevrolet Monte Carlos on the assembly line. They are basically put together to basically be the same movie over and over again. And these movies are starting to become repetitive because it's just basically the same story but with different characters, and that's becoming a real problem for me with these superhero movies. And this is me. I've been a lifelong comic fan of superhero movies ever since I was 4 years old, and even I'm starting to get tired of them because of the repetitiveness and the just same old stories over and over again. And when I look at your Black Adam, it's not really something that's saying to me, you know, you need to go out here and spend some money on a movie ticket for Black Adam, because I look at this movie and I look at 5 other superhero movies, and it's the same thing over and over again. That's why I believe the superhero movie genre is starting to get long in the tooth and starting to get tired, because instead of us getting unique movies and unique stories, we're getting the same story cut and pasted over and over again. And that is one of the things that is making the entire genre become very boring at this point. Now, when I look at Black Adam, again, I don't really see how he's interesting at all. Yes, he's an anti-hero. Yes, he's a rebel. Yes, he believes that he has a right to go out here and kill bad guys, but I don't really see anything that makes him special at all. And that's probably why the studios gave this movie a late October release, because usually in October, that's when they dump the garbage, and that shows me that they don't really have that much faith in Black Adam. But when I look at Black Adam, I don't see anything that's fair. Again, that's interesting. I mean, you can just call this movie Whack Adam, because it really doesn't capture who Black Adam is. I mean, yes, the film is dark. Yes, the film is gritty. Yes, the film is going to give us a take that shows us the so-called bad guy side of the story. But I don't really see a reason to care about this movie and spend $15 at the theater to go see it. No, I don't really see a reason to go see your Black Adam. All I see is another black eye for Warner Brothers and its desperate efforts to try to get a superhero movie out here that can allow them to have a franchise to compete with the MCU. And when I look at DC and the way they make films, this film basically shows their desperation on screen, and it really shows how they really want to get something out here to compete with the MCU. But as I see it, when I'm looking at the MCU right now, that ship has sailed, the lightning has left the bottle, and Warner Brothers really needs to regroup at this point, because that whole era of MCU is over as I see it. And the superhero movie genre, as I see it right now, is getting tired. And what your DC and Warner Brothers need to do is take a long rest from superhero movies, because I believe that in 2 to 3 years they may be going out of style for a moment, and it's best to just take a rest, let everybody get a break from these kind of movies, and then regroup and come back with a new Superman movie and try to bring back that fun and hope that people want from superheroes. But I look at Black Adam and I just see it as a big part of the problem, which is the oversaturation of this genre at this point. Too many of the same movies, too many of the same stories, too many of the same characters, too many of the same kinds of films, and it has gotten long and tired. And your Black Adam looks like what happens when a genre gets tired. People, instead of coming out with original ideas and visuals, give us the same visuals over and over again. And what happens is that the audience starts to get tired of this kind of movie, and the studio is looking like it's getting tired of making this kind of film, because your Black Adam doesn't look like big action. It looks like one big uninspired mess, and it looks like something that's going to be a major disappointment for many superhero moviegoers, because it's just the same old thing over and over again. Now, my upcoming comic, John Haynes at Death's Door, will be coming to Kickstarter on June 22nd, and if you want to put in a pledge for that comic, you can do so on June 22nd. And until then, you can pick up the books in the John Haynes series, which are in paperback on Amazon.com right now. And if you want to see me do more reviews of comic books, superhero movies, or superhero TV shows, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a wicked werewolf in this action-packed all-new E-Steam series adventure. Get E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, ISIS Legacy. Sorority secrets of the goddess next door are revealed in this all-new ISIS series adventure. Get ISIS Legacy in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere.